Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Before we get into this one, if you could just hit that big red button down below, that would really help me out because we're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the season. I know it's a big ask, but after a performance like tonight, you must be in a good mood, so hit that button. Leeds United have just beat Leicester 1-0 at the King Power Stadium in Leicester. Leicester had won their last 9 games in a row, and they were about to, hopefully for them, win their 10th against Leeds United, and they didn't manage to do it. It would have set a club record for them, but Leeds, ever the party poopers, came in and beat Leicester City, as you can see down below, 1-0. Now, what a game that was. Such a tactical chess match. It was so interesting. It was a tactical chess match without being boring. It was so interesting. It was end to end. It was frantic. There was moments of utter class. There was moments of panic and fright, but we'll get into that now. So let's just talk a little bit about the game first, and then we'll go through the players. But the thing that we said was, and the thing that Jer said and I've said and everybody else has said, is that Leeds need to make sure they start fast in these games. And we did. We really did start fast. Leeds were excellent at pressing, and early on we created chances where we probably should have been 2-0 up inside the first 10 minutes, to be honest, because the way that they were playing out from the back was really risky and at times dodgy from them, and Leeds actually were able to take the ball off a couple of times. There was one where Pirro actually had the chance to just put the ball in the top corner, and being one of the best goal scorers in the championship, you really should have expected him to do that. He didn't. And as the first half went on, Leicester started to grow back into it with players like Ricardo Pereira playing absolutely excellently, Wout Faes as well, making really good tackles. And I thought that we actually did a really good job to keep Dewsbury Hall to a minimum. He didn't look like a great player today. He didn't look like the player that Leicester fans have been saying he is, and obviously he's a fantastic player, but we kind of kept him quiet today, and the ball kind of mainly came through Ricardo Pereira and Harry Winks in their midfield. But yeah, as the first half went on, they grew into the game more and more, and they had a chance where Fatawu out on the right-hand side flicked the ball over Byram's head. Byram then got back with him and was marking him and then jockeying him, and then Fatawu cut inside, curled the ball and hit the bar, and that was the closest really they came, apart from one at the end, which we'll talk about in a little while. But we really limited the chances that they had, and we defended so well, especially in that first half and towards the end of the second half as well. We were so good defensively. Pascal Struijk, Joe Rodon, Sam Byram, Archie Gray, all excellent. And what really helped us was the fact that Crescencio Somerville and Dan James were really tracking back and going back with their wingers as well, so that we doubled up on Fatawu and Mavididi, because quite clearly from that first half, they were their danger men and they were the ones where they were getting a bit of joy. So we said, okay, pull back Somerville, pull back Dan James, go double up on those wingers, and that kind of kept them quiet really until really late in the game, where they still weren't really able to do much, but they were able to get back on the ball a little bit more. But we did a really good job at stifling them. We did a really good job at starting fast, pressing them high and creating chances from that. And then we got to halftime 0-0, and you start to think, okay, well, this is certainly a winnable game then, because we had the better of the first sort of 10, 15 minutes, and then as the half went on, it was pretty even, with Leeds having some really, really good breaks through Somerville, who I thought was excellent, but we'll get to the players in a little while. So we come out for the second half, and it's much of the same really, but this time it's more even going into the sort of 50th, 60th minute, and then the corner happens. Dan James gets a corner, he whips it in. Sam Byram loses his marker, a lot like what he did against Watford for that goal, but he loses his marker. Very good run, runs, heads it near post. The goalkeeper makes a very good save, saves it back straight into the path of Jorginho Rutter, who says, thank you very much, I'll take them all day. Puts it in the back of the net, and it's 1-0. He goes and celebrates with the away fans. Absolute dreamland. Then Leeds were like, okay, now we're shutting up shop. And although we did play on the counter-attack a little bit, we did well to shut up shop. And like I say, we limited the amount of influence that Kiernan Dewsbury Hall had on the game. He did, however, have more influence the more the game went on, and there's a chance that we'll talk about that was right at the end that we'll talk about in a second. But like I say, Struijk, Ampadu, Kamara, all excellent, really Rodon as well, sorry, and the rest of the defence really did so well to stop their attack, because up until right at the end, they didn't have a shot on target in that game, and they've been scoring 2 in most of their games. So we did so well to limit them, given the attack that they've got. Jamie Vardy got a sniff at nothing. And then when Iheanacho came on, he had 1 shot and it was blocked by Rodon really bravely. So we did really, really well. It was a Warriors performance. It was such a brave, bodies on the line performance. There was players getting injured and coming back on and playing the rest of the game. There was everything, really. Excellent game of football from Leeds United. And let's give Leicester the credit. You can see why they are where they are. I think they're a very, very good side, but we were just so good today. We really raised our game for this one. And then, like I said, we'll finally get onto that Keane and Dewsbury Hall chance. Right at the end, Ayling gets brought on. Bamford gets brought on for Archie Gray. And Bamford was before that, but Ayling and Gruev came on actually. Gruev to sit in that midfield and make it a 3, and Ayling was the one who would swap for Archie Gray at right back, because I think he picked up a bit of a knock. I think he was holding his ribs, but the ball was crossed in from Fatawu towards the back post. Dewsbury Hall climbed on top of Ayling, got a head above him, headed it right towards the top corner. It was like 90-odd minutes, and it was the first time they'd had a shot on target, and it was going right in the top corner. Meslier pulls off an unreal save, plucks it out of the top corner, and Leeds are able to clear it, and we won the game. So, wow, what a performance that is. Excellent stuff from Leeds. Such a brave performance, such a going away to Leicester, a team who've been picking teams apart and destroying them, and going and playing like that was unbelievable from Leeds. Let's get into the actual players then. We won't do ratings. That's Lockie's thing. If you want to check out Lockie, by the way, go and check out his channel, Lockie Leeds, but he's going to be appearing on Dream Teams midweek on Wednesday, so look out for that one, because that's a very good and funny at times episode as well. But yes, Lockie does his player ratings, but I'm not going to rate them. I'm just going to talk about how genuinely I thought they played. Meslier coming from the back, obviously. The way that we played was playing out from the back, and Meslier did a very good job of being calm when he was pressed, choosing the right options, and then when he had to go long, and then obviously pulled out that save at the end. So Meslier, I thought, was brilliant, didn't put a foot out of line. We'll go left to right, like we read. Sam Byram picked up a yellow card pretty early on, but then I think he started to get the measure a little bit of Fatawu, who he was up against. And once he did get the measure of him, he was really, really good then at stopping him, getting past him. And you saw that he was more often than not after that point getting a foot in, getting the ball away. And I think Byram was very good. And obviously he made the space for himself to win that header that bounced back to Jorginho for the goal. So Byram, very good, improved as he went on. We'll talk about Strauch and Rodon as a oneer. Both of them really good playing out from the back. Rodon, I thought, was actually excellent at cutting the lines with his passes. There was moments where he looked up and he saw that there was space to go through the press, and he would just ping a ball into a midfielder or a striker from the defensive area on the ground, and it was really nice to see him doing that. And there was times where he would carry the ball a little bit as well, and someone would sit for him and defend. His defensive responsibilities as well, he did excellently, winning headers, blocking shots, tackling, and doing really well on the ball. Same goes for Pascal Strauch, both really, really good performance. Archie Gray, a little bit similar to Byram, to be honest. I think he struggled at times defensively early on, and then he started to get the measure of Mavididi, especially as he was then helped out by Dan James, and likewise with Byram on the other side when Somerville came to help him out. So they defended really, really well as a unit. Then you got Ampadu, who for me, I think was my man of the match. I think he was brilliant. The way he turned on the ball, there was one in the first half where he just turned and banged a ball over the top for Somerville. Excellent pass, and he did really well at breaking up the play, getting those interceptions. Kamara, I thought, another candidate for man of the match. He was excellent as well. He only gave away the ball, I think I noticed, twice in that entire game. And he was so good on the ball. He was so good at keeping it, coming out of tight spots, finding a pass, not always using the safe option, but making sure it got to his man. And I think Kamara was excellent and certainly worthy of his place in the team, because he was getting us forward a little bit as well. Then when you go into the attacking positions, Somerville, I thought, was amazing. Again, really, really good. he was defended against really, really well. Let's say that they've got some of the best defenders in the championship, and they defended against him really, really well. But I think even so, despite that, I think he had a really good game, just dragging Leeds up the pitch when we needed it to on the counter attack. Jorginho in the middle, excellent as always, scored the winner. He couldn't get on the ball as much as he would have liked to against a lesser side, but he still influenced it where he could and did well. And then you've got Dan James on the right-hand side, who he was certainly, like Somerville, part of the counter-attacks, dragging Leeds up the pitch as well. And then Joel Pirro, of course, who he had chances early on, but after that he wasn't involved a massive amount, I don't feel. I do think he came back and he made tackles and he broke up play a little bit, which is weird to say for a striker. He came back into the midfield, broke up play and did well to then get the ball to the attackers and get Leeds back up the pitch again. So Joel Pirro did okay at that. I won't really talk about Bamford, Ayling, Anthony and Nonto and Gruev, who were all the substitutes who came on. I thought Gruev actually, we'll talk about Gruev because the rest of them, they weren't really on the pitch for long enough, but Gruev I thought did a really good job at breaking up the play, at getting in there, getting his body in there and just making it bitty and annoying for Leicester to try and get forward in the latter stages, as we were obviously trying to stop them getting an equaliser. So yeah, I thought that really we just played excellent all over the park. I'm so happy with it. Farke, fantastic tactical decisions. We really, really did well there. And I think the game could have gone either way, but the amount of chances that we created, I think we certainly sort of edged it in that sense, and I think we deserved the win. So fantastic start to the weekend. What a result that is. 1-0 away at Leicester. And yeah, wonderful. And there'll be a video out on the channel midweek of Lockie's dream team, so look out for that as well, because not as many people who maybe watched the match reactions checked out the first dream team. So if you haven't watched that, go and check out Jer's episode. I'm sure you'll really enjoy it. I've really enjoyed doing it and I've had loads of great feedback on it. So if you haven't seen that already, go and check that one out in the meantime whilst you're waiting for Lockie's episode to come out on Wednesday. There you go, there's something to watch. Thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you next time on Leeds Lately. Come on!